Shipping your products to Amazon can be one of the most exciting parts of the process, but also one of the most overwhelming. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create a shipping plan on Amazon to have your products go from China directly to the Amazon fulfillment center. Let's not waste any more time, get right into it. Once your supplier has manufactured your units and is ready to ship it into Amazon, it's important to know 3 different variables the shipping plan is going to do for you. Now the first is it's going to let Amazon know when to expect the units in their transit. Now the second is it's going to tell Amazon what is actually in the boxes. And the third, it's going to give you a ship to address, and this is the fulfillment address that Amazon wants you to ship your inventory to so that they can then fulfill your orders. Now that we know what our shipping plan will give us, it's time to talk about what we need to create our shipping plan. You can write these 5 questions down or take a screenshot so you know exactly what to ask your supplier for some of these smaller details. Your first question is the ship from address, which is where your supplier will be shipping your inventory from. This information is used just so Amazon has the nearest fulfillment center from where your inventory is being shipped from. And it also is going to give Amazon the opportunity to send back your inventory for whatever reason if it was packaged or shipped incorrectly. Your next question that seems pretty detailed and specific is what type of shipping paper is your supplier going to use for the box ID label? This could be thermal printing paper or honestly a couple different options, but it's important to note here so that Amazon has the ability to scan your box ID label when your inventory arrives at the loading dock. The third question is you'll need to know the shipping carrier along with the freight method, so if it's coming by air or sea. This is pretty straightforward, but you'll need to input this information when creating your shipping plan, so make sure you ask your supplier. The fourth question is the number of units per case and how many cases in total you'll be sending in your shipment. This information by far is one of the most important factors when creating your box ID label. Amazon's going to have to scan this box ID label when your shipment arrives, and all this inventory is going to pop up as soon as they scan that logo. The last question is the dimensions and weight of the box. Amazon needs to know what is the size of your inventory so they can really plan accordingly with their fulfillment center. I think this goes without saying, but you're going to need an Amazon seller account as well as your product already listed on Amazon before you can start this process. Now make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to cover one of the most important variables that I see most Amazon sellers skipping their first shipment that really makes this entire process a lot more smooth and streamlined. Now that we're ready to get started, let's jump onto the Amazon seller website and start to create our shipment plan. To start, simply go to the inventory tab here and click manage all inventory. You'll be brought to this page where you can see your listing and you'll see the edit drop-down box to the right-hand side. Once you click on that, you'll choose send replenish inventory. Next, you'll be brought to this page where you should see your listing, and above that is where we'll need to input the ship from address of your supplier. I have my ship from address currently blocked out just for privacy reasons of my supplier, but simply click ship from another address and then again add contact, and you'll be brought to this page where you can input the address of your supplier's facility. Once you're done here, simply click add contact, and now this information will show up under the ship from section. Up next, we need to choose the marketplace destination. This is where our products are going to be sold from, and for me, that's in the United States. Once you scroll down slightly, you'll see the SKU details section. Below that, any product that you've listed on your account will show up. Just make sure to choose the product that you plan on sending in. To the right of that is the packing details tab. Click on the drop-down box and select create new template. You'll be brought to this page where you need to input some of the vital information about your boxes. Under the packing template name, I like to name it something relevant to the product for the ability to reuse the shipping plan in the future. Next is your template type. You'll normally choose case pack here, which is just implying that you're shipping your inventory in boxes and not in large pallets. Below that, in units per box, input how many units your suppliers will be sending in each box. For our example, we're receiving 100 units and our box dimensions are 12 by 12 by 12 and our box weight is 50 pounds. Below that information is the prep category. If you're selling something that is sharp or liquid, you'll have to go in this section to identify that for Amazon. Now you can click save and you'll be brought back to this page where you can confirm the information that looks correct of how many units per box are being shipped. Next, you'll see the quantity to send section, and below that, we need to input how many boxes are being sent in our shipment. For this example, I'm gonna input 1 here, and then right below that, click Ready to Send button. We're moving right along. That was everything you need for step 1. We're on to step 2 now, and that's confirming the shipping details. For the first section here that says ship date, this is when your supplier plans on sending out the inventory. This does not have to be an exact date, but just communicate with your supplier to see when they plan on shipping the units. Below that is the shipping mode. We actually chose that in step 1, but just to reiterate, we chose SPD or small parcel delivery because the units are coming in a box, not in a pallet. Next is the number of shipments section. You can see that we have 1 here, and that's just implying that all of our units are going to the same location. Let's say that we have multiple boxes in our shipment. Amazon actually has the ability to divvy up our inventory and send certain amounts of inventory to different fulfillment centers so that Amazon can disperse it accordingly. If that's the case, this section will show up with 2 or 3 different addresses of the different fulfillment centers. Below the number of shipments is the select shipping carrier section. Remember this section because we're actually going to revisit it at the end of this video to talk about how to streamline this entire process, maybe make it a little bit more easy or a little bit easier to understand. For our example, we're going to say the supplier is not going to use UPS, and most suppliers from China won't as well, so we need to select the carrier under this drop down here. If you don't see the carrier that your supplier is using, that's fine. Just select other, and then directly to the right, you'll need to select how will they be transported. For us, we're gonna select ocean. Finally, for this step, just confirm the details at the bottom right side of the screen, and then click the accept charges and confirm shipping. All right, we're on to the third and final step here, and that's just to print out our box ID labels. This is the label placed on the outside of our box that is holding all of our units, and it's gonna allow Amazon to see all the contents inside once they scan it at the loading dock at the fulfillment center. This brings us back to the question that we asked our supplier of what type of printing paper are they gonna be using for the box label. Our supplier made it clear they're using thermal printing paper, so we'll select that option and then click print to the right-hand side. Before I show you the important details of the box ID label, I wanted to take a moment to say if you're enjoying this video or finding some value, please make sure to like and subscribe. It does a lot for smaller channels like myself that are just starting to grow and gain some traction. Back to the box ID label, there are a few important parts you want to check and make sure the information is correct. The first is the ship to address on the left-hand side. The last thing you want is for your shipment to be sent to the wrong address and you have to pay for it to be forwarded to somewhere else. The second thing is to confirm the SKU at the bottom right here. Make sure this information is correct with the amount of boxes and units per box. Finally, you can save this file and send it over to your supplier so they can print it out and stick it to the box that your units are coming in. The last step here is to click the proceed to enter tracking details, and this is where you're going to input the tracking number associated with your shipment. Now, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned there was one variable that I see a lot of people getting caught up on, and that's not using a partnered shipping carrier for your actual shipment. Now, you actually don't need to use one, but it just makes things a little bit more streamlined. And if you don't use a partnered carrier like UPS for your shipment, you just need to know that Amazon is not going to accurately update their system with where your shipment is in transit. This normally throws people off when they input their tracking numbers into the section they're supposed to, but when they check on their shipment status, Amazon doesn't recognize the tracking ID and doesn't even say your shipment is in transit. It's not until your shipment actually reaches the loading dock that Amazon will go in and update the section to indicate your shipment has arrived. Now you're at the point where you need to be patient and wait for your products to go from transit to the Amazon fulfillment center. This can take anywhere between 20 and 45 days, dependent on the vessel speed that you chose with your supplier. If you have any questions when creating your shipping plan with Amazon, make sure you comment down below. And if you have any additional questions, make sure to check out our Patreon group. It's going to give you one-on-one access with me to ask all the different questions to really make sure you get the process right. If you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.